Terrana. This is a world where magic comes alive, where people live alongside mystical creatures with magical powers. These creatures are known to all as Mystimon. Some fear these creatures, but others imprint them and call upon them to fight by their side. Mystimon are found all over this world, but this world is under siege by forces from beyond and within. Ghosts, demons, horrific eldritch terrors from beyond this world, and an evil cult worshipping unknowable and terrible beings. Now, an enigmatic group of investigators sets out to stop these incursions and defend the world from the terrors of the void, as they work to end the machinations of a madman in Mystimon Saga: Hidden Archives. Aloha, welcome back to Mystimon Saga. This is Mystimon Saga: Hidden Archives, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition actual play. I am your host and Game Master, GM Seth, also known as Seth R. Mitchell. I am the writer and creator of this vast world. Today, I am once again joined by...
Hello, everyone. My name is Twilight, and I will be playing as Edelyn, the Galvalan Witch Warble.
Hello, I'm Ducky. I'll be playing Willow, the formerly Midnight Whistler, now Yatan Bakan, Mystimon Summoner. I was just gonna add, I now have silver hair.
I'm Maritime Kitty, and I play Makoto, the Alpeke Animus.
And last season on Mystimon Saga: Hidden Archives, things in Evergreen City became even more mysterious when dark orb Mystimon from the Dreamlands suddenly appeared in the waking world, as a dear old friend of Crystal's, Biana, had now joined up with the party. Dark Orb's arrival would soon reveal to the investigators that the veil between the waking world and the Dreamlands was beginning to thin and break down, as now Dream and Nightmare Mystimon began to appear all over the city, starting with a Zebon. Dark Horse surmised that someone might have used an ancient artifact known as the Black Aegis in conjunction with a Shadowgate, and that this might have caused the situation, though he could not be certain. The party also met with another friend, Aime Aitos, Shadow's new runesmith, yet even with all of these things happening, the championship games were to continue, and Aime and Bastille were pitted in a combat against Vlorsting the Mutilator, and the fight was going well for Aime and Bastille, when all of a sudden the stadium came under attack by hordes of Skulms. Once the Skulms had been fought off, as the investigators defended all of the innocent people in the stadium, they noticed something was different about these Skulms. Each of them had a layer of rime covering their bones. The investigators decided to bring one of the Skulms back to life, perhaps unwisely, to ask it some questions. Their most principal question of all was, who did it serve? The answer sent chills down their spines. Graven, the Winter King, one of the 9 undead kings. The undead kings are back. The next morning, as Aime was out hiking in the woods, he came across a most horrific sight when he found 3 dead bodies that were left as shriveled and dried out husks. It would be as though something had drained the life force from their bodies. As Aime was investigating the scene, suddenly Diana came up from behind him and started screaming, I did this, it followed me, it must have followed me. Once Aime had gotten her to calm down, finally she told her story. She is an archaeologist, and previously she had been on an expedition for several years in Kings Valley in the northern parts of Almana. There, she had been working on a mysterious and top-secret dig on a 3-sided silver pyramid called the Blood Tomb. At one point, she somehow opened it when no one else had been able to before, and that night, she awoke to blood-curdling screams that something attacked everyone else on the dig. It was a most horrific event, and that was exactly why she had come here, to find Crystal, because she needed help with this. She said she has no idea what it was. She was too scared to even look. She simply hid. All she remembered seeing was something glowing a sickly green. Then it was time for the Mystimon Hunt battle to begin. In this event of the championship games, players would head out into the wilderness surrounding the Evergreen City and imprint as many Mystimon as they could, and then form a team of 3 from those Mystimon to then fight in a tournament. It was also during this time that we had to say goodbye to Elle, sadly. We miss her dearly and hope that she will return someday. But the party would not get to participate in the event too much, as they would be called in to rescue an Alapeke and Kyrane's wayward son, who had wandered into the dark and very haunted woods known as the Primal Wood. This was where they met up with Makoto, and with her help, they investigated the Primal Wood in searching for any sign of Hyoku and Kyrane's son, but along the way they lost Willow. Or Willow got lost on their own, no one is really sure. They also began finding these video crystals left behind by a girl who a previous party of the Hidden Archives had come here in search of before, but couldn't find. Eventually, they made their way to a house in the middle of the Primal Wood, which as far as they knew, was not supposed to be here. Here, they discovered the truth about the Primal Witch, the spirit which haunted the Primal Wood, all while Willow found a friend, a Magi Guard officer named Deirdre, who had now sworn allegiance to them. They discovered that the Primal Witch had been trying to warn people in the distant past of the coming of the Ancient Ones, but they all thought her mad and insane. But when the kids in the town had gone missing, they all turned on her and blamed her for their disappearances. And they essentially burned her at the stake, calling her the Mad Witch. Through this, they were able to redeem the spirit of the Primal Witch. They also managed to save the little girl that the previous party couldn't find before. However, just as the party were beginning to leave the Primal Wood, a new foe appeared as they were beset upon by another horde of Skalms. Once they had dispatched the Skalms, Kuoi and Ira suddenly ran into them along with Ira's mother, Luna. The party did not need to wait long for the answer to their question of why these 3 had suddenly run into them, as suddenly a tall, floating figure approached them, and the air all around them grew frigid cold. It was Graven, the Winter King himself, in the flesh, so to speak. And soon they had to deal with a whole new crisis as a contingent of Graven's Skalms kidnapped Fleur in the city and took her into the underground catacombs. The party had to give chase to protect Sarah from doing something stupid in her attempt to save her wife. They had to delve into the catacombs, where they would confront Graven. However, he was far too powerful for them, and they were forced to retreat once they had rescued Fleur. But not before Rat, being Rat, shot off his mouth and pissed off the Winter King. For his trouble, he was nearly turned into a goblin popsicle. Let this be a lesson: don't shit talk on dead kings. Or any lich, for that matter. The next day, as they were recovering from this ordeal, they were approached by the ever-spunky and hyperactive Rasha Bardine. They wanted to commit a little burglary, and they were dragging a very grumpy Aranel along and wanted to see if the party wanted to join in on the fun. The plan was to break into the campaign office of Vincalmo Stormmeyer, otherwise known as Mr. Asshole for his racist attitude toward Goblerans. They got the party's attention when they mentioned that they had seen Stormmeyer meeting with a man in a circus uniform and a top hat with a scar over his eye, aka Zolgoth. Part of the party chose to go along with Rasha's harebrained plan, while the rest followed Sarah as they tailed Stormmeyer that night. During the course of this investigation, the investigators learned more about Stormire's real story, as they learned that he once had a young daughter, but she died in a tragic accident when she drowned in the river. Ever since that time, he blamed the Goblurans, as he believed her Gobluran friends had caused her death. But as it would turn out, he was manipulated by Zolgoth, and in fact, he was the one who killed her. This is a fact that Zolgoth himself all but confirmed in his own little speech to Stormire. It was here that the party learned that Stormire was involved in the scheme of sending Lady Fiore to the Dreamlands and trapping her there using an item called a Dream Crystal or Valendrome. They had everything they needed to put this man away, but he turned over a new leaf. He fed them information on Zolgoth's plan, as they would discover that his endgame was close at hand. During the course of this, however, Kyrene was attacked by a woman named Avlice, and from this attack she came down with some sort of disease. She was hospitalized, and it looked as though she was going to die. That is until Kwoi did all that she could to try to heal her, and in the course of this she awakened a whole new power that had been sleeping previously within her, revealing that she was not only the guardian of Earth, but also of light. Now all of the guardians had appeared, with Diana revealed as the guardian of water, Luna the guardian of darkness, and Fleur the guardian of storm. And what's more, since Evelyn the guardian of spirit had also come into town, all of the guardians were present in this one place at the same time. Could this have been part of Zolgoth's plan all along, to lure all of the guardians here? The next day, as the party were perusing the market, suddenly Soma had a horrific vision of several explosions around the city in a star-like pattern. Zolgoth's endgame was beginning, and they had to race against the clock to find and defuse all of Zolgoth's bombs. However, not everyone accomplished this, for Willow thought the bomb was a present, and instead just opened it, much to everyone's chagrin. When they did this, a void rift suddenly opened right in front of them, and a horrific creature from the void came forth and attacked. But as they got on the comstones telling everyone they were being attacked by a space fish, everyone simply thought they had lost their mind. They still think they've lost their mind. Once the bombs had all been taken care of, one way or another, that night they came. Several cloaked figures emerged from the tree line surrounding Evergreen City and unleashed spell attacks upon the city, destroying several buildings and hurting several people. Zolgoth's endgame had begun. The party devised a plan to cast a ritual to send a few of them to the Dreamlands to rescue Lady Sarah Fiore from the clutches of Sorn, the Lord of Nightmares. Meanwhile, Rat went with Crystal along with Rasha and Arinel to confront Zolgoth in the woods. Soon the final battle with Zolgoth had gotten underway, and at a certain point Rasha used their psionic powers to bring the party deep into Zolgoth's very mind, with the goal of finding his real good self, which was trapped under many layers of evil personas his mind had created to protect itself over the years. Meanwhile, in the Dreamlands, Ada, Bastille, and Makoto came face to face with a mysterious dark-skinned woman with pitch-black eyes, a woman who wished for Zolgoth to die. Asking her who she was only got a cryptic answer. "I go by many names. Some have called me the Faceless Sphinx. Others have called me the Haunter in the Dark." With these clues, Adolin came to the horrifying realization that they had just met face-to-face with Nyarlathotep, one of the Ancient Ones or Great Old Ones herself. First, they fought against Zolgoth's Blarius persona along with all of his snake Mystimon, and then they would be transported to a completely different place in a different time, being chased by the Xenomancer, another persona of his. Eventually, they succeeded in finding his good self and were making progress in getting through to him, when suddenly they were ejected from the mindscape and back into the real world as a whole new spirit possessed Zolgoth's body, Henry Corbett, the man who had broken Zolgoth and created the evil in the first place many years ago. At this point, Crystal's egg, the egg left behind by her Magvor who Zolgoth had previously murdered, finally hatched, and the small bird zoomed across the sky and landed directly in front of her as Zolgoth's Skulldoom was preparing an attack upon her. It was a Pivar who quickly corrected her. It wanted to be called Ember. She then proceeded to hyper-evo it to Mavericks, a phoenix-like red bird who joined the final battle. It was at this time that the Dreamlands expedition also appeared back in the real world and joined the battle as well. Once Henry Corbett had been exorcised, however, a new enemy revealed himself. One no one expected or saw coming, for it was none other than Bastille, their own comrade. During the course of what happened next, it was revealed that he felt that Zolgoth should die for his many crimes, but Crystal felt that he should face justice and go to prison for his crimes. After a lot of back and forth, fighting, and drama, finally the party came to an agreement. Or rather, Zolgoth decided for them when he gave himself up for his soul to be imprisoned within Bastille. In the days after, as everyone prepared to return home to Ulmina, Rasha decided to come along to be with Arenal, as the two had grown quite close. But on the ship ride home, the party discovered that their puppet friend, Pinnock, had found a strange black crystal in the midst of the fight, and was playing around with it. As Coldra examined the crystal, he found that it was some sort of technological device of a highly advanced make. As he probed it further, suddenly his mind was flooded with horrific visions of a world deep in space, and he started chanting, "Dominion is coming," over and over. Once they got home, Coldra parted ways with the party as he was returning to Gothica with the strange device to examine it further. A few days later, Bastille also had vanished without a trace. Crystal brought Daphne the Ghost Star to the Quartica Islands, along with Diana, and it was here that they would resurrect Daphne so that she could live the life that was robbed from her so long ago when her soul had been taken over by evil. However, Daphne is mute, so everyone had to learn sign language to communicate with her. The next year, Almina Academy reopened, and with Kyrene having been elected to the council along with Luna, Fleur, and many other friends, she passed the role of headmistress of the academy down to Crystal, and so everyone enrolled in school. It was here that the party met Cuthbert, a new friend, as they investigated strange noises occurring in the dormitory at night. A few days later, they were bombarded by Luna, as she was being accused of murder, and they had to work to clear her name. During the course of the investigation, they learned of a secret organization called the Circle of Krolls, and the trail of clues led them to the council hall and the Myrtle Vineyard. And it was suspected that some of the members of the council were part of the circle, including Cuthbert's own mother, Vera Bradis. During the course of investigating the Myrtle Vineyard, Cuthbert turned traitor, and the party learned that Rat had been sleepwalking with his gun, and that he, in the sleepwalking trances, had committed the murder that Luna was being accused of and was being controlled by Samina Myrtle, the leader of the Circle of Krolls, who they also confirmed seemed to worship the Ancient Ones, particularly Nimbaloth, the Empty Death. By the end of this, Willow, overcome with an urge to murder Rat, for he is the champion of Hastur, became the champion of Nimbaloth. But as the party investigated the council hall, Debrial bestowed her blessing upon Mikoto, naming her as her champion, to balance the darkness and madness that had overtaken the party. In the end, the vote to abolish the taboo against same-sex relationships in Almina, once and for all, which Samina Myrtle had been hell-bent on preventing, passed. And just as that happened, explosions rocked the city from multiple angles as all of the city gates were destroyed. That is where we pick up as we begin Season 13. Ada, Miss Ada, as you are just leaving astrology class with Kuoi, starting back down the spiral stairs from the glass tip of the academy, all of a sudden, Kuoi says, "Oh no, I forgot something. The necklace Snowy gave me." And she turns back and starts rushing back up the stairs. As you follow after her, you're both stopped, as you find that the astrology professor slumped over her desk. What do you do?
Lady, wait a minute, like, although kind of like typical utensils nearby that could be just kind of about, like, how does the room actually look?
So you are in the glass tip of the pyramid, and the glass tip of the pyramid, the observatory, as it is called. Let me pull that up. So the observatory stands at the very tip of the pyramid structure, surrounded by glass walls. And as you get into it, and by climbing this steep staircase on the top floor of the pyramid, and as you climb up here, the first thing you notice is a large partition walls standing in the center of the room, effectively dividing the room into two rooms. One half is devoted to astronomy, and the other is dedicated to astrology. Offset from the right-hand side of the wall is a door connecting the two halves. But the first thing you're awestruck by is the splendor of the view through the glass walls as you look out all over Colorado below. The observatory is a wonderful and amazing feat of engineering, you think, where each of the four walls of this room, which is actually two rooms, is a single pane of glass, over an inch thick. And in the center of the room is this partition wall dividing the room into two classrooms. And
I was initially going to ask, like, does the area seem to be in slight disarray, like the room itself? Like, is there anything kind of knocked over or something?
No, just maybe a couple of things on her desk. It got knocked off the desk when she just suddenly slumped over.
Then, despite not really being that much of a medical person, she's actually going to try and check to see if the person still has a pulse going through them. Like, whether it's just them being knocked out or if it was basically a spontaneous death.
Right. Make a medicine check.
Not one of my best, but hopefully it's good enough. Public?
Yes.
32.
Alrighty. You determine that she's dead. And as you determine this, Wally says, "No, Miss Peacock." You know that her name was actually Miss Peaberry. And as you determine that she's dead, there's no immediate sign of how she died. You think it could have been a heart attack, given that you know that Miss Peaberry had a heart condition that she was receiving treatment for from the medical wing. And Koi suddenly starts bawling in tears as she falls into your arms. "I really liked her. Why did she have to go to sleep forever?"
Ada's noticeably stumbling her own words a little bit as she's kind of trying to calm her down. I was saying, I'm not entirely sure either. Maybe it was her condition? But we should really bring this up with the other members of the staff.
Suddenly, you are both startled when the body bolts upright. Her eyes open to reveal pitch black eyes, and she starts speaking in a strange voice, completely unlike her own, in a strange language. You can make a mythos check.
Oh, already off to a kicking start. Public?
Yes.
29.
All right. You determine that this language is not of this world at all. It's not even acrylic. And then suddenly the body starts saying, "Dominion is coming, Dominion is coming, Dominion is coming," as the crystal ball next to her suddenly lights up and the room around you grows dark. And in the crystal ball, you see a sea of stars in a deep black space, and emerging from the depths of that sea of stars is a large black sphere. At the sight of this, as the body finally slumps back over, Koi starts going hysterical and collapses, screaming, and you should make an unnerved save.
Which is just a normal will save.
Yep.
31.
So you failed. You gain a point of unnerved. And you call for help, and Deanna arrives as well, along with a few people from the medical wing, At the risk of sounding far too much like Crystal, do you want to tell me what the Undergrave happened here? She says as she sees Kuoi, who's still in shock.
If anything, we're not entirely sure either. We just got done with class. We were on our way to the next one, but then she forgot about her, what was it again, a necklace?
Yeah, her necklace.
So we went back up there to get it, but when we got back there, Miss Peaberry was already there and supposedly dead, but then she just shot up with black guys and saying something, saying something. Just, it didn't sound like it was something that we would know about. And just, area went dark, and the crystal ball showed a black orb coming from a sea of stars, and it's like, I know this sounds fucking crazy, but at this point, it basically might as well be our second nature.
And you also tell her that she's suddenly started saying Dominion is coming over and over.
Yes, that.
She shakes her head. That sounds bizarrely like the incident with Coldra before his departure. You think this has something to do with that black crystal?
Maybe, maybe not, but we can't really say that correlation is causation here without diving deeper.
Deanna's flashing a light in Kuoi's eyes, checking her pupils. She's in shock. I'll call Dr. Jules. She's best equipped to help her. You should give Crystal the report on what went on here. Are you sure you did not see anything that might have contributed to Professor Peaberry's death?
No, besides objects that were knocked over, likely due to them being unconscious or dead or whatever that state was, because I initially thought that she had suffered an on-the-spot heart attack considering her condition.
Yeah, I was always concerned about bringing her on, but she insisted that she can handle it, and Crystal insisted that there was no one better. I'll soften the blow with Crystal, but she won't be happy. Such a tragedy. She seems such a nice person.
Yeah.
As Diana turns back to Kuoi, she notices she's saying something under her breath, and as you and she listen closely, you hear her mumbling, "The dark has arrived. Dominion will come from the depths of space, and the gateway will be opened as the eight gather." Diana looks up at you, wide-eyed, and she pulls you aside and says in a hushed voice, "You need to get Ira quickly." Crystal mentioned something to me once. She asked me to look into a phrase that Kuoi has oft repeated, "The dark is coming." Hearing that just now jogged my memory. There is something I found. It's from a journal from a Cowan Crystal used to know. That, what she just said, is written down in that journal, verbatim. She said it before. She thought no one was listening to her. Someone in fact was. Divin was listening.
Ada just simply nods before asking, "Think you can calm down the little one? This entire thing must just be one big nightmare to them."
I really don't know, but I think the eight is obviously referring to us, the Guardians. And the eight have gathered, that much is true. As for Dominion, there's nothing that I could find in any history books. All I could find is really old, few 100-year-old notes from an astronomer trying to prove the existence of some planet in our solar system. Nibiru? No, that wasn't it. No, Nibiron. That was it. If you want to follow that string, you might go ask Ruva about it, though I'm not sure what he could tell you. As far as I know, there's never been any confirmed evidence that planet even exists. Now, go get Ira as quickly as you can. You know how their bond is. She understands her in a way the rest of us simply don't. If anyone can help her right now, it's her. I'll call Dr. Jules as well, but even she would say the same thing. When she's like this, only Ira can get through to her. Right.
Yes, ma'am.
I think Crystal said something about Iris starting a light misty casting tutoring today. Let's see. Show me your map.
Okay, and Ada just kind of brings out the map, and she initially brings it out upside down, but she would kind of quickly notice that, thanks to probably what you assume to be a little compass in the top left of it, maybe?
Yeah. Deanna points to a room on the 3rd level on the top floor There. That's where you'll find her. It's on the northern side of the pyramid. She motions for someone. I assume that the reason you walk with Kwoi is because she knows where she's going, true?
Admittedly, yes. And Ada's eyes are just slightly closed, so she kind of admits that.
This person can help you get down out of the crow's nest, as Crystal started calling this room. Crystal and the name she comes up with. Oh, by way of that, I don't think I need to tell you, but try to keep what happened here out of the paper. I don't think we need to cause a widespread panic with talk of Dominion and things in space. Sure, Crystal would have a field day with that.
Of course, this is might as well be one of our specializations at this rate.
Yeah. Oh, right. I was to get Daphne from class today. Now I have this mess to deal with. Don't worry about it. I'll call someone else to get her. Makoto, I think she's near there around this hour. I'll call her.
Gotcha. Either way, let's just make sure that this information stays low and within us.
Of course.
And with that, she would likely use one of her innate spells, which is Warp Step, to try and get to them faster.
Okay.
Since it definitely seems like time is of the essence when it comes to this.
Yeah, you do get Ira, and you get her to Kwoi. By the time you get her to Kwoi, she's been moved to the medical wing, and you get her to there, and she is recovering over the next few days from this ordeal. She's been excused from classes for the next few days, and she seems okay. From the last time what you have heard, she seems to be doing okay now. In the weeks since the bombing, since the destruction of the gateways into and out of Kalrun, as you have helped maintain calm in the school while the debris is cleared and the gate is rebuilt and the road into the city reopened, you have been asked to meet with Crystal, and she wants you to investigate what happened. You first tell me that Vera, one of the co-conspirators, told you that one of or more of our professors in this school are in league with the Circle of Krolls. And then this happens. There was obviously a major security failure here. We failed to see what they were planning to do. I'm still trying to assess how anyone could have planted the bomb without anyone noticing. I would first ask you to check the security cameras and check all the footage. See if you could find anything that might explain how this was done and who did this. Unmask whoever it is in this school who is working with the Circle, she tells you, and then she turns to Rat. I have had long discussions with the school board as well as the Pharaoh, and I'm sorry. I have no choice. My hands are tied. I have tried to fight this, I've tried to defend you, but I have been instructed to pull you from the hidden archives for the time being until the investigation has been concluded. They view you as a security risk. They believe that somehow the Circle is getting information through you. They also feel that you could have planted the device in one of your sleepwalks. Either way, they see it as a conflict of interest for you to remain on the case. So you have also been placed on suspension from the school. From the bottom of my heart, I am sorry. And you see Rat get really quiet and really down. As she turns to the rest of you, you can all make me a perception check.
Public or blind?
Blind, secret.
It's just I constantly ask just to make sure that I don't do one when it's actually the other.
Somehow Willow is the only one that sees this.
Because if anything, mine had a -1 to it due to stress, but I have no idea how to actually add stress to the effects part of it.
Yes.
Willow, you notice Crystal hand a small piece of paper to Rat and kind of like a sleight of hand movement in such a way hoping that you don't notice it. She says to all of you, please continue your investigation and report back with whatever you find. She says, but you will be reporting to Sarah from now on.
Could I tell I don't know, could I tell anything about if it's why they're being secretive? Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know.
Well, it's just I have no idea what that was about.
So, Crystal says you will be reporting to Sarah from now on. Sarah Ariane. The reason you'll be reporting to her from now on is because technically I transitioned out of the position of headmaster of the Wayfinder Society when I took this job. Sarah is now not only the vice principal of the school, but she also leads the Wayfinder Society. As vice principal, she just has far more time in her hands to devote to the society than I do. And I'm sorry I didn't make this clear before. Honestly, I'm sentimental. And because I feel like I'm still a part of things, but I've taken up too much of Sarah's job in this time that I hand things over to her. I'm sorry for not being clear about it before you go. Please promise me I won't be seeing too much of you all in my office. She looks particularly at Ada.
And so you could see kind of like a slight blush on Ada's face as the kind of was directed towards her, but she would just slightly nod a bit.
Well, if needed, I have a spell that can help you not go too far. That will help track where you go in case you wander off.
Rat returns to Crystal, making sure no one sees. As she smiles after you've all left and gone to do as you have been told, she smiles. I apologize for the subterfuge. While you have indeed been pulled from the case by the school board and the Pharaoh, since when have you known me to do as I'm told? As I'm sure you're aware, I never listened to Deanna and she's my partner. Actually, I believe this may be a wonderful opportunity to turn that bitch's own alleged spy against her. I think this is actually our ideal. I think if we let Samita believe you've been pulled from the hidden archives and suspended, it might make your investigation of her vineyard during your community service all the easier. She'll lower her guard. So I want you to keep on with the plan and investigate the vineyard during your community service. But you will need to do so without any of the Hidden Archives' help or resources. You'll be on your own for this one. And I tried to hide what I was doing from Deanna, but, Dee just sees right through me. She's on board with the plan, and Daphne, well, she can't talk other than illusions and sign language. Who's going to understand if she tried to say anything? Other than the others, of course. But I've instructed her to keep it a secret from them. She thinks there's a game that we're playing, so act like we're playing a game. You may ask Daphne for help, but I implore you, whatever you do, keep her safe above all. She's only 13 after all, though I can see how her illusory powers could be useful to you. And to be clear, Brad, for the time being, you are reporting to me on this. Sarah believes you are suspended and off the case, and I'm keeping it that way from now. But when all of this is cleared up, please, for the love of the gods, start calling Sarah Boss Lady, and do so in front of me as much as possible. I want to see the look on her face. Willow, please make me a flat check with a DC of 8.
A flat check. A 120.
Yeah,
Okay,
1d20
just a
with no
D20.
modifier. No modifier.
There's a flat D20.
Yep. Okay. What are you all doing? Crystal suggested checking the security cameras first to see if there's any sign of who might have placed the explosives.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yes, if anything, that's probably Ada's first instinct. Granted, if someone's there to help guide her to there, so that she doesn't end up lost in the pyramid.
Yes.
Go ahead and do that, and then while I'm setting something up that I forgot about. 1 second. Sorry, I forgot about something. So you go to check out the security cameras, and make me a perception check as you're scanning through the footage.
And it's still blind.
No.
So -1 from that due to the stress, and that is 24.
Mikoto, at one point in the footage, and this probably comes up because you're kind of looking for them. You're always kind of looking for them. You notice Willow leaving the dormitory and going off towards the pond. There's a pond just north of north from the dormitory and past the buildings across the wave there. There's a pond over there, and you notice Willow walking off in that direction. And you don't think Willow would have any reason to be going in that direction.
Okay, I pointed out to Ada.
You want to bring this up with Willow?
I don't know if we should bring this up with Willow. What are her evil intentions? Or their evil
I don't even. I don't
If
know.
anything, it would still be a good thing to bring up to them in case this is another like rat situation of someone like puppeteered them.
Don't ask me. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, you have no memory of that at all, Willow. Other than that, you don't.
Have another puppeteer situation.
Yeah, other than that, you don't notice anything else out of place when it comes to the city gates. Certainly not. You don't at any point see Rat going towards the city gates, so you can pretty much exonerate him. You don't believe he set the bomb.
Yeah, which is good. We scratched out one name, but the other name could still be a place suspect here. In this case, Willow. Even if it,
Like why or
or at least something that could be controlling Willow, maybe.
like why do we always end up in the suspect lists?
Who knows, Willow?
In all honesty, I have no idea either.
Like I don't know
We
why.
always seem to really focus on the 8.
It's like I don't recall anything. I don't know why I was over there. It's all a blur.
That's what Rat said too.
Mhm.
Isn't it amazing when the party's own comrades, their own friends, are now the suspects?
acquaintances.
God,
now
like, I was
now
about to
they're
say,
an
like,
acquaintance.
It's like, if anything, I really want to say something, but I have a feeling like that would invoke the 0th rule. So, like, just keep that to myself.
No, we love the 0th Amendment around here. You could also try making a diplomacy check to canvass the school, canvass the area, and see if there's anyone who might know anything.
Diplomacy isn't really Ada's strong suit. Most of her talking skills come from like society.
Well, if I
I don't
was
mind.
going towards the pond, we were looking at like a video, right? Or
Yeah.
well, if I was going in that direction, I don't know, maybe we could start there.
This is hilarious. Willow's the only one who's trained in diplomacy.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
trained in
and if-
diplomacy. It's just that Ada's trained in diplomacy. It's just that compared to a whole like master in society, it's not really that much.
Okay.
And-
So you are trained in
And would you
diplomacy.
consider? Yeah, I was about to say, would you consider this gather information?
Yes, and that falls under diplomacy.
Because I have streetwise, which lets me use society in place of it.
Sure.
Nice. So,
And it is
public
also a fail
worldview?
forward check. Just keep that in mind. This is a fail forward check. So
Oh, wow.
even if you seemingly fail, even if Willow rolls a 1 on the die, which they are off to do, even in that situation, it's just that's how long it takes. It just takes Willow obscenely long in that case. Because they keep getting distracted with random things.
Oh, so basically, the higher the result, the shorter it takes.
Yeah.
In that case, very much easy society. Public?
Yeah.
42, which after the stress becomes 41.
Okay, and Mikado, you want to roll? And Willow,
What am I rolling?
diplomacy.
That's not going to get very high mark. Okay.
But you're trained in it, I think. No, wait,
I'm
you're not. No, you're not. Willow
I
is.
put all my stuff in religion and medicine.
I'm going to give each of you like different things that come up in your talking around. You're introducing yourself to everyone, to students and to professors, as reporters. You're now reporters from the Hidden Truths newspaper for Almanac Academy. So people are now more open to talking to you about different things, and here are some rumors that are floating around. Mikoto, over the next few hours, one major hot button issue that everyone is talking about is you hear that the Golan Empire is appearing to have begun positioning ships and the like off the coast of Atlantia, targeting the islands off the coast there, such as Baja and Amity. This not only has Atlantia on high alert, it also has the Corsica Islands scrambling for protection from Almana, from Atlantia, from Highwind, because they fear the Empire could also target them. According to what you know, this is the first anyone has heard or seen of from the Gola in the last several centuries. And you would also note that the timing of this, just after the departure of Cauldra, who was a Gola, appears suspicious, but you don't know. Willow, something that people are talking to you about is the Quadriga Islands are apparently reconsidering their long-standing rule against Mystia tech in their country, probably stoked by the Golan Empire's recent moves above, but many in the country are against it. In fact, several of the Quadrigan students are also against it. You know that there are long-standing fears in the islands over the potential of Mystia tech to pollute the environment, although no one is sure if it even does. The Quadriga Islands simply has never wanted to take any chances. And Ada, one thing that comes up in your canvassing is there are reports that Izari, an island in the middle of the Balra Ocean between Highwind and Atlantia, has recently become a hot-button issue as of late, with the Highwindian government making moves towards setting up a base of operations on the island, and Atlantia claiming it is theirs, and even the Quarta Islands are also trying to claim it. According to Luna, the core of this issue appears to be the island's strategic position, but to make this topic even more contentious, the council is now hearing arguments from Dr. Deanna Reese, from Dr. Lorena Gray, and other archaeological professors from around the world that the island should be protected as a matter of cultural and historical importance, being that it is the site of the ruins of the Altarans, the ancestors of the Fae. So, your ancestors, Ada.
So it's basically this big cultural contention point, effectively.
Yeah. It may now be pulling Olympus into the topic as well. Deanna is especially up in arms over this issue. And if you ever get her started, she is very excitable over the issue and she raises her voice a lot. And you even having a hard time getting her to shut up about it. She's very passionate about this issue and believes very strongly that the island should be protected for its cultural and historical value and importance. She says the next thing you know, the Frost Elven of Arctica will try to lay claim to it too. So,
Jeez, if anything, it sounds like one big old shaked up bloody can just waiting for something to open it up and basically go shot collar.
Yeah. So these are the sorts of things that you could just put into the paper, because these are the things that people are talking about. And
Nice.
let's see, Ada, you did roll high enough that you also heard something else. The Vikaran are at Olympus's throats once again over allegations that Olympus has been sending religious missionaries into their country. Olympus denies these allegations. Luna believes this is simply more bluster and hot air from the Vikaran over their dislike of religion and shouldn't be taken seriously.
So effectively, what I'm picking up is that both of these things are effectively religious/cultural powdered kegs about to go off with a single spark.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Makoto, here's something that comes up for you. You heard, in fact, this really perked your ears, and your little fox ears are kind of going haywire. You hear reports that a dead body was found over by the pond, and the people that you are talking to about this are saying, has the call room devil returned? You know that it can't be the call room devil. That was Zolgoth, and Zolgoth is gone. But your ears are like flipping out because of what you saw in that video. What do you do?
I guess I go back to my comrades and tell them the information I learned and see if we can find more information on this body that was found.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of rumor and conjecture at this point.
We should investigate the pond area because there's probably a clue.
Yeah, so maybe not. Maybe it's a big coincidence. Maybe it isn't. A lot of different things that this could be, but at least eliminating one variable should be good enough.
So you want to go check out the pond?
Yes.
Yeah.
As you go check out the pond area, you could all make me perception checks.
Still blind?
Yes. Hey, Mikoto,
Mm-hmm.
over by a rock, over by a big boulder by the pond, you find a large footprint. It is a bare footprint, like no shoes.
Okay, I was like bear as in the animal or bear as in no socks or shoes or anything.
B-A-R-E.
Hey guys, look over here.
Oh, well, it's a big foot.
Ada would just quickly head over.
Did
Willow's
Willow
gonna
go
go-
into Bigfoot?
Well, it's gonna put their foot next to it. I'll be like,
It matches.
oh,
I mean, we already know you were here thanks to the security cameras.
yes, that's true.
Is there any other footprints around, or was it just the one?
Just that one.
Only one?
Because the area around you is mostly all sand, so this footprint is more visible, and it's actually cleaner for you to see because of the water from the pond. Because don't forget, you're in a sandy desert for the most part. Mikoto's been having a hard time.
Yeah.
Because
Why?
Mikoto is not used to the level of dry heat here. Let's see. Yeah, it's like 37 C right now. That's hot.
Yeah, and with no ocean to breathe.
I literally had to use Google to figure that out in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that is
Also,
hot.
holy shit, 99 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that's hot.
I can't move anything while the game is paused.
Purple.
So just out of character, such out of context. Good to know that we're basically in the middle of Arizona.
It's a hot, dry, sandy desert. Actually, kind of similar to what you would find in Egypt.
Or in the U.S., Arizona or Nevada. Either way, so now we know that the Willow has actually been here before, whether of their own accord or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Seeing how the footprint could still be seen, I meant that they went into the bottle, but why would they go into the bottle in the first place?
It's kind of off to the side, actually.
Oh, so it's like a bit of a distance away from where the pond is?
It's like about a foot. It's like to the side of the boulder, to the right hand side of the boulder. The boulder is like sitting halfway in the water, halfway not.
And if anything, that begs a lot more questions than it does resolve answers. Such as, why was it there instead of really anywhere else? Like, wouldn't there have been actual footprints leading up to this point as well? Or would that not be the
Probably,
case? Considering
it
it's
wouldn't
all
be the
sand?
case because of the sand.
Mhm.
Because in dry sand, you're not really going to make out any footprints. It's only when you have water in the mix that allows the footprints to really form.
Yeah.
At least here on under gravity. Up on the moon, yeah, footprints will form because there's no gravity.
And if anything, that does still beg the question, because in order for the footprint to form, they would need to have stepped in water beforehand, but the footprint was a foot out from the water itself, so...
The sand is wet. The sand here is wet. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The sand here is wet. Kind of like, think of as though you're out on the beach. You know how the ocean water comes in every once in a while, and it will wet the sand.
But wait a minute. Does the pond have its own kind of tide to it? Kind
of. I mean, like a little bit.
But does it have enough of a tide to get the area where the kind of footprint was wet?
Well, you're not really sure, but the sand here is wet.
Out of character, why do I have a feeling like I'm overthinking this?
You are overthinking it.
Ponds don't usually have a tide, but this is a mystical fantasy world.
I don't know.
And there's 2 moons. There's 2 moons too.
So I guess my overthinking is somewhat logical here because basically real world logic doesn't need to fully apply.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that there's a lot of people coming through here, sitting by the water and everything.
I know this would work on a footprint, I guess.
Oh, gods. Read psychometric resonance. With a touch, you can read the psychic impressions left on objects by their previous owners.
Wait, does this work on footprints?
No.
No. Oh.
Does not work on footprints.
Dang.
Yes, otherwise, one person picking that up would basically be a god tier detective.
Because this would have to be, for this to work, the sand would have had to have belonged to someone. The sand does not belong to anyone. The sand is just sand.
Do you think there's anything else here worth investigating? Maybe we missed something.
I'm not sure what anyone really trusts with Willow, but Willow, you do find streaks of blood on another boulder further away.
I was like gasping. I felt blood on the boulder. I have no. Oh my gosh. Do you think it belonged to the victim?
Isn't it hilarious how far off track we've gone?
Wait, all these freaking red herrings.
It kind of is in a way, because this has nothing to do with the assignment that you were given.
God, it's like
but
my
you,
mind
you found an interesting case.
By the way, please, things here aren't really adding up to what we're trying to go for here. Yeah, and at the same time, there's not really a smoking gun here. Anything to really prove that there was a dead body here. That streak of blood on the boulder could have been from anything. It could have been from someone accidentally hitting their head on the rock. You don't know. So if anything, back to the original task at hand in this case. Going back to the actual case at hand, go ahead and make a diplomacy check to canvas. It's like past noon at this point, like 1:06 p.m. Or in my case, a society thanks to Streetwise.
I'm suddenly really good at diplomacy.
We don't know how. We have no idea how. We really don't know how. How is Willow so good at diplomacy? Especially given the fact that you kind of look really scary, Willow. You now have like a really gray silver hair, and your eyes are like wild, and you look scary.
I don't know.
Crazy. All three of you kind of hear this, the same thing, because you're hearing reports upon reports upon reports of missing students, particularly a few individuals. And their friends are growing really, really concerned, and they've been trying to raise their concerns to the professors, but no one seems to care or take any action. These students are imploring you to please help them find out what has happened to their friends. And so you are being implored to please find what happened to these three students: Bufella Mithropike, Ein Bisserin, Salma Zogby. What do you do?
How do you spell that?
Okay, here, let me go ahead and copy paste these names for you into chat. That's the first one.
And while you're doing that, do any of them happen to know where these missing people will last? Or at least what they had kind of planned around the time if they knew about that?
All three of them, their friends are like, I talked to them like just the night before, and we went off to our dorm rooms and went to sleep. The next day, they were gone, and that was around 7 days ago. And they are these students who are talking to you about this are getting upset with Crystal because they believe that she's not doing anything about it. And they're like, why isn't Crystal doing anything? Why isn't she doing anything to help find them? What do you do?
Yeah. Admittedly, maybe it's because they already have a lot of things on the plate and trying to kind of wheel things down from what happened in the past. Yeah, but either way, I'm more than willing to help out trying to find the three of them.
Do you want to try to bring this to Crystal's attention?
Well,
Ada would likely do so, but
she already knows about it.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's coming from us, maybe she'll take it more seriously. Okay.
If she knows about it, maybe it hasn't even gotten to her.
Mm-hmm. We should tell her.
Like I was about to say, if anything, considering how we have multiple different things to work on, Makoto, Willow, you two still stay on track with this. I'll go and tell her about the missing persons.
Okay.
Divide and conquer. Ready? Split.
Are we sure that you should be the one to go off?
Don't worry, I still have the map.
And they say again, are you sure? Because we know your ability to read a map.
Yes, I'm sure.
You head up the central stairs from the main hall up to the second floor and then up to the top floor where you find Crystal's office. And when you go talk to her about this, you have to wait a moment in the reception room outside her office. And while you're there, you kind of probably get into a little small chat with Crystal's secretary, Saruna. Probably chatting with her about random things. Probably asking her out on a date. Who knows? And then finally, you're able to get in to speak with Crystal. And you bring this to her attention. She looks at you with complete surprise. And she says, I'm sorry, this is the first I'm hearing of this. Who reported this to you? What are the names of the missing students?
Well, the ones that brought them up were three of the missing person's friends. Rafaela Methelpike, Ian Besson, and Sarah Zogby.
Okay, she's reviewing her files. She's looking through her papers. And then she calls her secretary, Sonora, could you come in here, please? She calls out, and the almond woman from outside comes in. And Sonora, could you please look into these names for me? She says, handing her the list of names that you provided. I'm hearing from Ada here that from the paper that according to several students, these three are missing. Can you please look into it and let me know, and perhaps find out why I haven't heard anything about this until now? Work with these reporters, with Ada if you can. Please, if these students are missing, let's utilize all of our resources to locate them as soon as possible and determine where the communication breakdown occurred.
The thing was that it happened. That they've been missing for at least a week. At least from what I've gotten from the sources.
According to what I can see here, they've been attending all their classes, according to the attendance rolls. How can that be if they're missing?
Wait, so they were somehow still attending the classes throughout the week, even though they were missing since a week?
Yeah, actually, as I'm looking more closely here, there's a few classes where they're not attending, and there's several where they are. Here, let me get you a list.
What classes have they been missing?
Let me get you a list of the professors who are reporting them as attending. And the first name on the list is Tristram Day. The second name on the list is Erwin Seth. The third name on the list is Mathot Light River. The fourth name on the list is Adea LD. The fifth is Gorwin Shadav. And the last one is Nafti Nahas. So these are the 6 professors who, for whatever reason, are reporting these 3 as in attendance when they are, in fact, missing.
A bit of a random shot, but what classes do they teach?
Tristram Day, he teaches element Misty casting. Erwin Seth is like in charge of charms, you think? Mathot Light River is in charge of the Karin history. Adia LD is in charge of Mystia runes. Very different from what Aime is teaching. Tristram Day is actually the Mystiary professor. In fact, Willow knows that. Willow knows that because for some strange reason, Tristram Day keeps comparing Willow to a Grizzless. And Daphne Nahas is the art professor, and Gorwin Shadov is the Fae history professor.
So the Mystiary professor, the one that's likely about charms, the one for Mystia wounds that's different from my maze, Fae history, alt, and I'm partially trying to remember how to spell Vicarin for Method Light Revel.
There you go.
Okay, then so not entirely that much overlap between the courses themselves, but might as well try and ask the professors themselves about it.
Alrighty.
And I think a good starting point could be Tristram Day.
A good starting point could be Tristram Day. Yeah, might as well start from the top of the list.
So start from the top down and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. You could also go try to speak with Dr. Jules, because from the notes that Crystal gives you, it seems to indicate that these 3 were all patients of hers.
Oh, they were also patients?
Yeah, they were also patients of Dr. Jules.
Actually, then that might actually be the best starting point, because that's something all 3 of them have in common for Sultan.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know who had basically which class with each of these professors yet.
Yeah. So
let's start with the medical.
Let's start with the psychology professor, Dr. Jules, who is actually your psychiatrist. And you go searching for Dr. Jules. When you check her office, you can't find her there. Usually she's there, especially at this hour, but you don't find her there. So you can make me a perception check as you go looking around for Dr. Jules.
Hey, public or blind?
Make this public. I don't care right now.
Don't forget you have the Mind Palace.
Yes, don't forget you have the Mind Palace, so go ahead and put notes there. Use it to your advantage. To get a really quick way to get there is just click that cup of coffee up there in the corner. To sip your coffee, drift off into your Mind Palace.
I'm just my own campaign notes for this.
But the Mind Palace is also a very, very useful place to go to. And you do eventually find Dr. Jules after about an hour. But you find her kind of like frantically asking around about another student by the name of Glenda Powell. And let me copy that one down for you. A high Atlantean girl. And when you ask her about it, she says, Glenda is a patient of mine. She was supposed to come in and see me today, but I haven't seen or heard from her in 2 weeks. I am growing highly concerned because many people here seem to have no idea who I'm speaking of. God, this is why I wanted you to look into Darkon Sanatorium. This is the sort of thing I have had many reports of them doing, making people disappear. What do you do?
Like, if anything, Ada would just kind of slightly Like, you know how sometimes you kind of knock on the side of a wall in order to get someone's attention?
Yeah.
Like, Ada would more or less just do that quickly and say, Jules, if I could have a moment with you, not for a session, but for
Yeah.
questioning.
Of course. Yeah, it's just people seem to have no idea who I'm talking about. Have you seen Glenda Powell?
Glenda Powell. Okay, does that name ring a bell?
No, you haven't really had any real conversations with her in the past. You think she might be in one of your classes? You're not sure?
Evidently not that I know of.
This is why I wanted you to look into Darkon Sanatorium. This is the sort of thing I've heard reports of them doing in the past, making people disappear.
But if anything, the main reason why I'm here in the first place on my end is that 3 students had gone missing, all of which just so happened to be your own patients by the names of Rufella Mithril-Pike, Alan Bersalon, and Selma Zogby.
Yeah, they're all patients of mine, but as well, and I've not heard from them in a few days either, but I had no idea they were... I had thought they were just busy with their studies. You're saying they're missing as well?
Yes, they've been missing for at least a week, but for some reason, some professors here have marked them as attending, albeit I have yet to talk to them.
As you know, with most of my patients, I only see them once a week. I only see you once a week. So if I don't hear from them in a few days, I don't really tend to mind that. Speaking of which, when will I be seeing Rat? He is supposed to be meeting with me at least twice a week, and it's now been 5 days since the last saw him. He's overdue.
Like, Ada just kind of slightly chuckles a bit at that, but either way, back on track. Would you happen to know anything about them since the last visit here, per chance?
Perhaps you can check in the dorms. You will need to ask Crystal for their keys to their rooms. That's a suggestion. Can you look into Glenda Powell for me too? I haven't seen her in at least 2 weeks.
I'll be sure to check for them as well. And with that, Ada will more than likely thank her for the time, and
thank Jules for
mostly
the time.
so thank Jules for the time, yes, and make their way down the list of professors that marked them as attendant, even though they were mostly absent.
Okay, so first from Day, when he sees you, he waves hello to you, and he says, "You look awfully similar to an eagle eye with that pointy nose of yours."
For one thing, I'm a Galvalan. Two, nice to meet you as well. And if you don't mind, if I ask a few questions involving 3 missing students, maybe 4.
Yeah, as you're talking to him, he's always swaying side to side while standing still, and he ponders for a moment. Okay, Miss Eagle Eye. You have no idea why he's calling you that.
You can just call me Ada.
Eagle Eye it is.
Ada, EDA.
Okay, Eagle Eye.
Whatever. Anyway, 3 students, possibly even 4, have been missing for roughly about a week, and yet you're one of the professors of their classes that reported them as attending throughout that week that they were missing. Do any of these 4 names happen to ring a bell with you?
You must be mistaken. I haven't reported anyone as attending that shouldn't be attending. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, either way, do any of these names, just to be sure, Rufella Mithril-Pike.
Are we all there?
Alan Besson.
No.
Selma Zogby. Glenda Powell.
Selma Zogby, I think, is failing. Your friend Willow is failing.
No.
And Mephilia Mithril-Pike, I think, is one of my best students. I'm Bissaran, I don't know them, and Glenda Powell, I don't know them either.
If anything, some students have said that they've been missing for weeks straight, and yet you're one of the few professors that they had that kept on marking them as attending even during
I have
that
no
week.
idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. You can make me a perception check.
Public?
No, secret.
Gotcha.
You think he's telling the truth, but you can't really be sure. Let's see. I've told this to some of the other students have been asking me about these missing students of yours, but I swear on my mother's grave, I saw a pale woman in the dormitory with glowing eyes. Maybe she had something to do with their disappearance. I don't know.
A pale woman with pale woman with glowing eyes
In the dormitory.
Do you happen to remember what time you saw it?
Let's see. I think it was around midnight. I was walking home. You can make me another perception check to sense motive about this claim. He appears to truly believe in what he saw, and he actually seems frightened of it.
Yeah, and if you don't mind me asking, what were you exactly doing walking back home at midnight of all times?
Well, you know, I get caught up late, freaking working on grading tests. I have the hardest time grading Willow's test. Let me tell you, I have an absolute impossible time grading their test. It's like they have no idea how to write.
Oh, I wonder why that is.
I mean, then again, she did spend most of her time out in the middle of a forest, so at least it's
That's no excuse.
Either way, thank you for your testimony, Mr. Day.
No problem.
Okay, and I imagine, like, all the while, Ada's taking somewhat decent notes about all of this.
Somewhat.
Like, even though I say somewhat, I guess you'd say that's a bit surprising how detailed her notes can be sometimes.
Yeah. On your way to see Mr. Awen Seth, you actually meet up with Makoto and Willow, and you tell them about everything you've discovered so far about this, and you let Willow know that they are failing in Bestiary, and the professor there seems really perturbed with them.
Why didn't anyone tell me this? I'm gonna have to get a tutor now.
Well, either way, that's besides the point, because apparently they had seen at least from what they accounted, a pale woman with glowing eyes in the dormitory around midnight. Could one of you two check the cameras around then to see if something connects there or if it's just static?
Yes, I can check.
Okay, we'll send Willow to go check that out and hope they don't mess up things.
Hopefully. And Makoto, like, do you think that you could help act as a second pair of eyes for Willow?
Sure.
What? You don't trust me?
Yeah, I mean, I do trust you, but considering how so far everything has been connected to you in some way, I'm more or less considering this as kind of a safety precaution more than anything.
Willow's
No.
suspect.
That's fair. But I remember nothing.
Willow's a suspect.
And if anything, like, Ada's a follower of the whole kind of tradition of innocent until proven guilty.
Are you sure?
Even if it does mean that we'll have to dive into magical methods potentially being the root cause of it.
Okay. At the same time, we really don't trust Willow. Anyways.
Like, if anything, I'm effectively playing this like a freaking game of Clue.
Of course.
Or, if anything, more like a Phoenix Wright case at this rate.
As you're splitting off, Makoto, you pass by the bestiary professor Tristram Day on your way to the dormitory, and he says, "Hey, you look awfully similar to an Equine. Did anyone ever tell you that?"
Nope.
Might be the ears. And so, Willow and Mikoto, you go check out the cameras, see if you can find anything about this pale woman with glowing eyes. And you do actually see this pale woman with glowing eyes multiple times. And it's always at midnight. She shows up there every night at midnight. And she seems to glide down the hallway of the second floor. And what has you really creeped out about Mikoto is that it's always in the same hallway as where your room is. That has you a little creeped out. Just a little.
At Kyoto, I freaking knew it was going to be some sexual bullshit again.
When you go speak with Erwin, Ada, he says, yeah, I was actually on duty at the night desk in the foyer of the dormitory. You know, there has to be someone there to make sure everything is going smoothly and to make sure students aren't making a ruckus, as they are off to do.
Well, either way, there have been a couple of students missing, and I was wondering if any of these names happened to ring a bell with you, Mr. Seth. Mufala Mithil Pike, Alan Bissaron, Salma Zalby, Glenda Powell.
He says, you know, that night, you said it was around 7 days ago, right?
Approximately a week ago, yes.
I remember hearing shouting and the sound of a fight coming from upstairs. And when I went up there, I didn't see anything. So I went back downstairs. It might have been maybe those damn dragon lords flying overhead. I don't know. Possible to get a decent night's sleep with those beasts around. Ada, are you staying in the dorms? Or are you staying at the ranch?
Yeah, she would likely be staying at the dorms.
Okay, when he mentions this, you do not recall hearing Freslor or from Drone or any of the other dragon lords fly around the dorms.
If anything, there don't seem to be any dragon lords around here. So maybe it was just something that dissolved quickly.
Okay, well, maybe it was something else. I don't know. You can make me a perception check to sense motive. You think he's lying.
But wait a minute, are you sure that it was exactly a fight that happened up there?
I told you what I heard. He's getting a little agitated.
And partially allocated, I know that information isn't really gotten when somebody's angry about something because it tends to muddy information. So kind of note to step off of that for a bit and kind of jump back to the original point. Well, either way, did any of those 4 missing students ring a bell to you?
I don't know. You can make me another perception check. You're sure he's lying. You're sure that he knows something. The mention of the names had a ring of familiarity in his eyes. You could tell he knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, like, did any of them get a kind of like bigger response from that could potentially link him to students?
All of them.
All 4 of them?
Yeah.
Okay, then. And if anything, the main reason why I was asking these questions in the first place was because they had been missing for a week, and yet you're one of the professors here that had constantly wrote them down as attending, even during the supposed time that they were missing.
What are you saying? He's getting really agitated.
Yeah, well, for one thing, I would suggest calming down a bit. I'm not accusing anybody at the moment, more or less getting as much information as I could. But I was more or less just wanting to see if there were any connections between you and potentially any of the missing people.
What, you think I had some kind of affair with one of them or something? Is that it?
No, not an affair, just some form of connection. But I think I've got all of the answers I need at the moment. So thank you again, Mr. Seth.
I suppose what else do we expect from a bunch of wannabe reporters? Just digging for scoops. You're not real reporters. If you were, you would have exposed Crystal as the fraud she is, instead of attacking me. Get out of here, fraud.
It just says it's like sigh, kind of like one of kind of mixed annoyance, but also relief as she kind of makes her way out, and kind of like as she's closing the door, she kind of mumbles to herself something in abyssal, which would roughly translate to, at least I'm doing something.
You meet back up with Willow and Makoto, and they tell you of what they found. That the pale woman with glowing eyes has indeed been haunting the hallway. Makoto, you're probably a little creeped out that it's been in your hallway.
And then, if anything, that does add more weight to Mr. J's statement of seeing them around them at midnight. Albeit, if anything, that does beg another question of why specifically that area at that time. Albeit, if anything, I know that we won't get the questions to that sometime soon, but on my side of the story, I just found out how kind of agitative Aaron Seth can be in a bad mood. Supposedly said that there was shouting and a fight on a higher level, even though there was nothing there. And while they vehemently denied knowing any of the four missing people, body language told a different story and picked up on all four. And didn't entirely get much else from them.
And with that, we're going to go on a short break. This has been a production of Mystimon Saga Studios. Mystimon Saga is copyrighted 1995 to 2025 by Seth R. Mitchell and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike. The theme music used in this production is Shattered Glass by CJBeards and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution. Ambience and other music used in this production was provided by Tabletop Audio and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Non-Derivatives. Pathfinder 2nd Edition role-playing game is written and distributed by Paizo. If you would like to learn more about Mystimon Saga, visit world.mystimonsaga.com.